Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me again, Tio Mac, and for this video, I wanted to share with you 5 tips when starting drawings. Now, these are techniques that I've learned with studying other artists as well, and also these are methods that I now go through when I am working on an artwork. I think that these tips are good for beginners, okay, if you have like no idea on how to go about a drawing. So I think this will give you a quick start on your drawing so that you can go about drawing faster. So now for our first tip, if you're using Procreate or any other illustration programs, I will highly suggest that you start with using a large canvas size. Now here we have this like default standard, okay, 3072 by 2304. This is the canvas that I use when I'm like just studying, when I'm not making a full illustration, but I will also use the 4000 by 4000 or 3000 by 3000 when I am making a post for Instagram. Okay, so these are square sizes. This is the default screen size. Okay, I just expanded it, okay, with the HD standard 3072 by 2304 because this size fills the iPad really nicely. Okay, so I have a lot of space to work with. It's not too narrow, but also you can go here and click the edit and you can add the DPI, okay, for your artwork. And usually it will start with like that 132, but you have to make it 300, okay, so that you will have a higher canvas size, you will have more pixels to work with. And I would highly recommend this because when you are starting like a very small size like illustration like 1920 by 1080 like this one, okay, what tends to happen is if you have like a brush that like the brush that we made, the flat brush earlier, you will not get like really thin lines, okay, with it. It will always be thick, okay, and you can see that it pixelates really quickly. Okay, there's already some pixelation there. Okay, so that tends to happen if you are using small canvas sizes. And what I find with studying other artists, they always work with large canvas sizes. Now I am limited with the iPad that I'm using because it's only like a basic iPad, but you can still go about with this size, the 307 2 by 2304. If you are limited on your iPad size, you can still go with it. You can still make some crisp looking artworks with it because that's what I'm using here. Okay, you can see that you have to zoom in to get into the pixels, so we get a lot of detail. Okay, so yeah, that's what I would recommend. Use a large canvas size. It will help a lot with your art pieces. You can add more details later on. Okay, rather than starting small, I would recommend you start large. Okay, for our next tip, this is a study that I've been doing with other artists that I really like, okay? And you can see here, this is what I've done, okay? I drew over. So that is the second tip that I will be sharing with you. Drawing over other illustration or other or the reference that you will be using. So you can see here, if I turn down the opacity, you can see that I made these lines, okay, to study the proportion, the shape of the face, okay, and how I will go about making a face that is like in the same style of this artist. What I'm doing with my own work is that I modify the anatomy and I modify some shapes from the reference so that I can make the piece my own. Okay, I don't exactly copy the lines that I drew over my reference to make my own piece. Now, along with the drawing over, the other tip that I will share with you when starting an illustration or an artwork is to make these ratios. Okay, you can see here what I did with this study is I made these ratios of the head. Now, usually the head consists of 3 squares from the forehead down to the eyebrows and then down to the nose and then down to the chin. Okay, this is a highly stylized face. Okay, so you can see the chin is very big, but if you are making like other faces like here, Valeria Bernina, you can see here that yeah, it's about equal parts. Okay, the size of the forehead, the size of the eyebrows to the nose, to the tip of the nose, and the nose to the chin. It's about equal parts. Okay, that doesn't just apply with faces, that also applies to the whole body. Okay, if you've been looking at references online on how to make a full body, they will usually say that the body consists of like multiple heads. Okay, but if you want to speed up your workflow, you can just cut it right here at the head, and then cut at the waist, and then cut at the bottom of the feet. And if you do this, you will have a pretty nice idea of how to make your own proportions. So what I'll do is I'll make these lines, and then I'll make my own. Okay, so that's just how I work. Okay, overall, I would just say that using these ratios would help you simplify your studying process of your reference and make it more quicker for you to make your own artworks from them. But later on, if you are gonna be making your own original pieces, I would recommend that you move away from using these ratios, from using the drawing over technique. This is just for beginners who are studying references. Now for the fourth tip, I will probably just show you a time lapse of the artworks that I made a few days ago. But the fourth tip that I will be sharing with you is to use thick searching lines. Now, a lot of artists, me included, when I was starting, I used to draw these thin lines that I will make continuously, repetitively over my canvas, and this results usually in a very messy look. But if you use like thick searching lines, okay, if you start with a thick brush and then draw your forms at the beginning with thick lines, this will really help you get much faster at drawing, because you will have an idea of the overall shape of the art piece that you are making, and not make you focus on the tiny details of the drawing. Okay, I think it will really help you a lot if you don't like draw over a lot of thin lines, and you just start with thick lines and then soften it out, blur it a little bit, or I mean erase it a little bit, and then just draw over them with thinner lines. I think that will make your workflow that much faster, and you won't get tired very quickly. It really helped my workflow a lot when I was using these thick searching lines at the beginning. Now for the fifth and final tip that I will be sharing with you when making your own artworks is to make more confident line work. Okay, line art. Now this is something that I'm still working on. I'm still improving myself, because a lot of times I will just skip over making exercises for my line work, so my line works are not that confident. But just to give you an idea of the line work, if you are making an illustration, if you're making a drawing, make sure that you have an idea of where a line goes, okay, from one point to another, and if it bends, or if it is a straight line, or if it is a curved line. Okay, make sure that you have the idea on your head before you put down the line on your canvas. If you have this shape, okay, you have to know that this line goes from here to here, so this line goes here to here. Okay, so that's just one line. Okay, and then this is another line. Okay, if you make this broad line works and not just focus on the tiny like shapes, okay, just focus on the big shape, big lines, okay, it will help speed up your workflow. Okay, and then later on, once you have put down these like really large lines, you can go with a smaller brush and make the details later on. You can erase those large lines, just like with what I did here. I made these large lines, and then I will erase it. If I wanted to add more details, I will erase it, and then I will put smaller lines. Okay, but it really helps if you know before you put the line where to start and where to end. Okay, where to start and where to end, and where the bend happens. Okay, this has a bend here and has a bend here. Okay, and this goes from here to here. Okay, so yeah, if you keep on putting these like really random lines instead of like making confident straight lines, okay, this will take too long and you will get too tired. Okay, you will lose the momentum that you have probably when you started drawing, because you keep making these lines. Okay, so it will help you to just go with a simple straight line and not make too much. Okay, now there are some art styles that will look good with like a little bit of randomness to the lines. There are some art styles that look good with that. Okay, but if you want to study much more faster, okay, and if you don't want to like keep on searching for the shape, okay, you can just try to use gesture and think about where the line will go. Okay, now I will show you the previous sketch that I made. Okay, so this is the layer underneath it. Okay, the thicker lines. If you have the thicker lines already established, then your thinner lines will be much more precise. Okay, you won't have to like search for the position of the lines. Okay, because you already have a foundation, the thicker lines underneath. And if you would draw over it with a thinner brush, okay, you know where to put your lines. Okay, I hope these tips that I shared with you in this video will help you improve your workflow. I hope that you can understand me because I've been getting a little bit ranty. Okay, I can hear myself. I've been talking too fast. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you those tips, and also this will serve as a reminder for me because sometimes I forget doing these tips, and sometimes I will just get too tired and too bored with my artworks. I lose my momentum, yeah, especially if I don't follow these tips. Okay, so yeah, if you want to keep your momentum, help you draw a lot more, a lot quicker, I hope that you can try these tips and see what it does for you. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I hope I shared a little bit with you today and you learned something. If you did, please make sure to hit the thumbs up if you like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will be posting more videos soon, probably with coloring and with rendering portraits. Okay, or if you have any other questions, okay, I'm still learning. Okay, or if you have any comments or advice on how to improve my artwork, if you're seeing my artwork and you want to help me improve, okay, you can probably share it up at the comment section below. But I think that's about it for this video. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.